Hello everyone. Today we are covering the topic research aptitude of UGC NET Paper I. Okay, let's start. Research definition. First definition is the simplest definition, which is the art of scientific investigation. Next is it is a journey from the unknown to the known. So that's what research is. Research is almost everything what we does now. If we consider, for example, the 2 weeks ago, James Webb telescope was launched into space. It was designated to study the cosmos, the age of the universe, its evolution, whether it is expanding and how much rate it is expanding. And we can all know that by studying the ancient galaxies that are at the outer rim of the universe, which is we are going almost back in time, because the light from them has to travel billions of years to reach us, and we are seeing them as they are billions of years ago. So James Webb telescope studies that, and the scientific world had spent billions of dollars into creating such a instrument. But even if we consider that, if you think about it, at the end of the day, the James Webb telescope is just a research tool by the astronomers to study the universe, to prove existing theories of cosmos, whether the observational evidence supports such theories. This is what James Webb telescope is designated to do. So that's what research is. It's a systematic investigation to find answers to a problem. Another definition is a careful investigation or inquiry, especially through research for new facts in any branch of knowledge. And this is a definition. This is what everybody does. Every nation is putting many part of their GDP in research, so that they will have the latest technology, they will have the latest hardware, and through this they are making them better than others. And research is the key aspect, the key method by which they can add to their existing knowledge, and they can have something the other nation don't have. The other definition is it is a systematic and objective analysis and recording of controlled observations that may lead to development of generalization, principles, theories resulting in prediction and possibility of ultimate control of events. So this is a huge definition. The systematic and objective analysis, recording of controlled observations that may lead to development of generalization, principles, theories resulting in prediction and possibility of ultimate control of events. Resulting has a spelling mistake. It is W is not, should not be there. Okay. Objectives of research. The research there are 6 objectives. First one is the extension of knowledge. We already have lots of knowledge, lots of breakthroughs in medicine, in telecommunication and information technology, and the defense, and so. But we can't just stay here. We are in a post-industrial age. We are leaving the information age to more sensor enabled smart age, and we are entering the age of artificial intelligence. So and a lot of research is going on in artificial intelligence to develop machines that can think for themselves, So that's what extension of knowledge is. We can just stay in with our smartphones. We had to create better smartphones next year. That's what extension of knowledge is. It unravels the secrets of the nature universe. I already explained about the James Webb Telescope, which had been launched a few weeks ago. And generalization. Generalization means we study a particular sample and in such a way that we can apply it to the whole spectrum of things. That's what generalization is. Verifiability of established dogmas and ideas. Verifying means we verify the existing ideas whether they are still standing. Because we are already we are seeing new things, and we want to know whether already our knowledge or our existing theories can be applied to that new knowledge. That's what verifiability is. Establishing new theories for application. So that's what I said. We have to create new theories so that we can have a better understanding of the better grasp of our surroundings. That we do with artificial intelligence, sensor-enabled computing, so on and so. Ultimately, to help the survivability of community and species. We had found this during our COVID-19 crisis. For the 1 year in 2020, the whole world was shut down because we didn't have a proper vaccine to face this pandemic, and it was spreading very fast, and it was high mortality rate, and the governments almost shut down. Trillions of dollars in the economy was wiped out because of we didn't have a proper knowledge of this virus, and it is mutating faster than we can thought of, and we are still struggling with it. So that virus threatened the existence of our species almost. So not for this to happen, we should have a proper research done to face such threats. Let's see the types of research. The first is a differentiation is the quantitative research and qualitative research. Quantitative research means linear research. It starts with a testable hypothesis. We collect data and we analyze the data, and then they interpret the data so that whether we should reject or accept the hypothesis. That's quantitative research. Qualitative research means it's more of a subjective matter. It's almost inductive. Its other term is inductive research. It is specific to the theory. It is specific to the phenomenon. Ethnographic. For example, we study the disease spreading through Mongolia. That's ethnographic. It's subjective. Another case study. We study whether the college students are coping with this. How college students are coping with this post-pandemic world. Whether the education is providing better opportunities for them. That's a case study. Or ground theory, or triangulation. These are all subject matter. Triangulation means we study a problem with the two researchers, then we triangulate, we compare their findings and arrive at a common conclusion. Whether so this is just a verifiability of this. It is done to critically analyze both the researches, and we find the cusp of the problem. That's triangulation is. The next type of research is fundamental research and applied research. Fundamental means the research asks the fundamental questions about existence, about day-to-day happenings, why rain is forming. Those are fundamental questions. What is the factors? What are the factors that causes rain? And how can we predict weather? How can we control weather? These are fundamental questions. These are this was generalization. It adds to existing knowledge, and we formulate theories, and it is application based. Like the for extreme example, the rain clouds, how they are forming, how they are managing, how they are its dynamics, how many factors are affecting the local rainfall, whether it's local or it's or global. These are all covered in fundamental research. It questions the fundamental problem. Applied research means it's specific to social or business because it's more application based. Application based research, whether if a company asks whether this product or product is selling more, it's how customers are using it, in how can they improve the product. These are the covered in applied research. It is to find solution to a particular issue, or for another example is a city council asking whether the garbage collection is working properly, how can they effectively manage the garbage in a city. This is an example of applied research. Other type of research is structured and unstructured research. Structured research means it has a structure, a pre-decided structure. Objectives, design, sample are all pre-decided, and it is used mainly in qualitative research to know the extent of the problem. That is structured research does in qualitative research. What is unstructured means it doesn't have any structure. Allows flexibility as research objectives and design are not pre-decided. So there is a chance that we have to change this all these objectives of a research, or a sample has to be changed, or design has to be changed. Then only we can move forward. That's part of unstructured research. It is used in a qualitative research to know about the nature of the problem. So unstructured research is used in qualitative research to find the extent of the problem. Unstructured research is to find about nature of the problem. Another type of research is conceptual research and empirical research. Conceptual research means establish a concept or theory based on observation, deduction rather than experiments. Uh, Einstein's general relativity, Newton's gravitational law, gravitational equations were derived. They were derived, not done through experiments. To find, for example, in Einstein's general relativity, it was formulated. Later, it was experimentally proven. That experimentally proving that theory is empirical evidence, empirical research. Formulating that theory was conceptual research. Conceptual research, establishing a concept or a theory based on observation or deduction rather than experiments. It's a theoretical approach. Einstein, example is simple relativity was formulating. Einstein imagined how he would feel if he were riding a pulse of light. That was he imagined, and from that imagination he formulated the theory of simple relativity, from which we derived the time dilation or time travel through speed of light, because speed of light is constant throughout the universe. It was one of the postulates of simple relativity. And that was formulated. It was formulated through logic, Einstein's imagination. Empirical research is experiments to test the relevance of old theory. To use experiments to provide base for the new theory, based on practical and experimental approach. If we use experiment to find out whether the speed of light is same both in the universe, in this phase of the earth and in the space, if you are doing some experiments to prove it, that is experimental research. Other type of research are innovative research and incremental research. Innovative means we are using innovative technology to find solution to a problem, to find problem, solution to problem, which means using satellite technology to create new data on agriculture, whether the groundwater level, the soil erosion, all this can be evaluated through satellite data, and using that data we find which is the best for agriculture, best place to grow our crops. This is innovative approach in research. Incremental research is improve or extension of already existing research. It is research done by government to know their schemes are working or not. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme is an example. The government studies whether the money spent on such a schemes are worthwhile or not. If a research done on such a aim is incremental research. Another type of research is descriptive research and analytical research. Descriptive research describes a problem or a solution. It involves comparison, classification, description are used to describe a problem, analyzing the trends in a market, which is the example of descriptive research. Analytical research is focused on cause-effect relationship behind a phenomenon. What is the effect and what is the cause? Analyzing the cause for fall in the stock market. So, stock market analysis or election analysis. What are the causes for such a result? Which is studied, which is a best examples of analytical research. Another type of research is deductive research and inductive research. Deductive research aimed at testing the theory. The main focus is on form, the general from the general to specific. Test the already established theory. It begins with the hypothesis. This is a quantitative research. Example: theory testing, generalization, income and education qualification with a sample from your local self-government. Example is we are testing the relationship between income and education qualification. Whether people at the higher in education qualification get higher income, or lower education qualification get higher income. If we try to search such a correlation, it's a deductive research. Inductive research, formulating a theory. The main focus is on from specific to general. It starts with the research question. Qualitative research, sampling a residency to evaluate the relationship between income and education qualification, which means it's a local phenomenon. We are asking a local phenomenon, and we 10 houses. We are analyzing just 10 houses in a neighborhood, and we generalize it. But then that specific research that specific data, we generalize it to the whole city. That's what inductive research is. Deductive research, we study the whole city and we arrive at a conclusion. Let's see the characteristics of a good research. The good research should be systematic. Follow a certain set of procedures. It's a systematic. It should follow certain procedure. It should be systematic, step-by-step procedure. Selection of procedure based on research topic. Each research topic has its own specific procedures, and they should be done on step-by-step basis. Next is the research should be empirical, based on experiments rather than theory or logic. That's empirical. Observation, direct, real-life experiences are all comes under empirical research. Empirical nature of research. The scientific method should be used while conducting research. That's the empiricalness of research. The research should be, next is criticality. The research should be critical, which means it should be free from errors. So every procedure and every method should be put to scrutiny on every step. That's what a criticality means. We have to self-criticize. A researcher should self-criticize, or you should use his guide to criticize, guide to analyze and criticize and change that course, the course of research, if it is going wrong, and or use self-criticism to change. Criticality is a essential part of research. And there is objectivity. Research must be impartial and bias must be absent. So the researcher should approach his or her problem through the eye of a third person, or with an eye on objectivity. That they should take away their bias and see the research as in a scientific manner, in a true, it should be based on the truth rather than their subjective. Research must be free from personal values and beliefs. So that if their religiosity is against a research conclusion, and if they fall for such a religious values and change it is a wrong research. A researcher should be free from any bias on his or her part. Accuracy. Accuracy means it's in the method and procedure employed in research. The result must be the same in every similar condition. Then accuracy. That research should be accurate, and the researcher must ensure that it is accurate. That the values must not change. The proper constants, such as in the gravitational equation G, its value should never change. Its value should be constant. Every constant should be there. Every parameter should be there. The measurements should be accurate. The measurements, we should not change with his whims or whims of a researcher. It should be accurate. Generalizability. Interpretation employed to analyze the sample must be applicable to population as well. So that is generalizability. That if you study the income and education, the correlation between income and education qualification of a neighborhood or 10 houses, it should be applicable to the whole population. So the method we employ in sampling, method we employ to a sample must be applicable to the whole population as well. That is the generalizability of a research, which is very essential for a research. Otherwise, research should be logical. Research should be guided by logical reasoning. So, which is essential. It should make sense. The research should make sense. Every aspect of it should make sense. Realistic, should be address the real life problems. If you try to find research, if we are researching just for research for the sake of research, should be it's a bad research. And research should be done such that it is applicable to a real life problem, and that is very good it will do good to the community. Then that is a good research. And we can say it is a realistic research. Controlled. The research should be controlled. That methods and procedures should be properly controlled by the researcher. Otherwise, it is not research. It is not systematic. It contradicts the research. Validity. It involves whether the conclusions drawn in the research are correct. So every conclusions a researcher takes in the research should be verified. If it is not verified, it can be applied. It cannot be applied in the real life. It will not be accurate. So every aspect of this must be checked and rechecked for it to be verified, and it's one of the great characteristics of research. Reliability. A researcher must give similar results, set of similar samples. Greater the similarity in results, greater is the reliability, which means it is reliable, it's robust. We can test it everywhere. That is reliability. Rigorous. The researcher must test whether the results are accurate, the units are correct, there is no discrepancy between data. All this must be done, checked regularly, rigorously. That is The researcher must strictly adhere to the methods and techniques for collecting data, interpreting, analyzing, and drawing conclusion. He or she must be strict in her research. Credibility. It's about quality of data. It deals with the trustworthiness of the research. So the quality of data we take, and we should be very careful in taking secondary data, because it could be get manipulated. So the researcher should be very adamant in collecting data, and the quality of data is very essential. That is what credibility is. Credibility of research comes from that. Cyclical. A good researcher is that he or she leaves scope for further extension. So cyclical. Research is almost a cyclical phenomenon. Someone does a research, and other takes up that research and adds to existing knowledge. That's cyclical process. So there should be a room for further investigation. Replicable. Research can be replicated for decision making. So if we have done a research, and someone in real life will take up that conclusion and add and test it in real life, and if it work, and it should work there. That is replicability of a research. Okay, these are all topics we cover. The research never ends here. The topic doesn't end here. It will be covered in the next video. You should subscribe and press the bell button to get the next research videos. It will be coming soon. Thank you.